Tonight's Bruins-Panthers game was a doozy of a game with plenty of back and forth action, and yeah, we'll get to all that. But quickly, I wanted to start this video off with a blooper of one of the nicest own goals I think you'll ever see. Nearing the end of the second, Coyle in the Panthers zone along the boards goes for the sauce pass, and Bennett, knocking it out of mid-air, scores a beauty. It just so happens to be on his own net. Now, obviously, this was completely an accident, but really, you rarely see this. There's always a few throughout the year, but honestly, this one, it took a good amount of hand-eye coordination to pull this off. And again, it's gotta be, for me, one of the nicest own goals I've ever seen. The only one maybe nicer, off the top of my head at least, is Kyle Quincy's from back in 2016 against the Sharks, which was just magnificent and embarrassing all in one, like any good own goal should be. But yeah, for the most part, own goals are typically just unlucky bounces. Quickly though, before I get into the game, do you guys remember a few years back when the Devils scored a hat-trick of own goals? I would love to know the actual statistical odds of that happening ever again. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Back to tonight's game. And again, it was a good one. For me, what stood out was Lyon. He really put on a show, getting several key saves for the Panthers throughout the game, really. But with that said, from their own end, the Panthers give up a terrible turnover, and Smith makes them pay, getting them up late in the first as Montour, trying to get it up the ice, gives it up, and yeah, just beats Lyon blocker side. Lyon got another couple of big stops here as he really kept him in it early, but that was it for the first, so over to the second. And early, again, both goalies stood tall, getting some great stops on both ends of the ice. But nearing the midway point of the game, the Panthers break out of their zone and get on a 3-on-2. Barkov shoots, and they score to knot it up at 1. Now, this one got deflected out front by Montour as he kind of gets some revenge for that turnover earlier, and he scores his 10th of the year. Then as we get over to the end of the period, we get back to that goal I started the video with, and again, just a tough one for Bennett here as he's trying to break up the pass, instead just deflects it right into his own net, and the Bruins take back the lead. However, with all that said, into the third now, Bennett makes up for all of it as he comes down, rips one home with a vengeance, and ties the game back up at 2. And you kind of love to see it for the guy. Just a beautiful shot off the far post and in. Now, the Panthers had a few great chances, even going post and out on one of these, but couldn't take the lead, and instead, with less than a minute to go, the Bruins pressure, Grizzly gets it over to Pasternak off the bench, and he scores to take the lead very late in the game through a screen, and yeah, it looked bleak for Florida. With that said, they do pull their goalie anyway, and the Panthers put on a final push, and as time is set to expire, shoots, it gets blocked, and Barkov scores to tie the game up with just 1.4 seconds to go in regulation, as for the third time in the game, the Panthers find a way to square it back up. So this one was headed to overtime, and we were in for another short one. Getting possession first, the Panthers gain the zone. Reinhart leaves it for Barkov. He takes it for a small lap, feeds it back to Reinhart. He shoots, and it's immediately called off. But the Panthers knew it was in, and yeah, just beats them over the right shoulder, and the Panthers, playing from behind all game, come back to win this one 4-3. And again, this was just a fantastic game. And the Bruins just falling apart at the seams, lose their second in a row. No, I'm just kidding. The Bruins are absolutely absurd this year, and I'm sure they're just fine. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I will see you in the next one.